What's up guys, Erroneous here, back with another Raid Shadow Legends video. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over Vault Keeper WIXWELL's skills, and then I'm going to be going over whether or not I think that he's going to be truly viable in today's meta, and should you even be going for him as a fusion, because we did finalize, or it was finalized with all of his skills based on what the community, what you guys have chosen for his skills based on defense focus or support or damage focus. So I'm going to be going over his kit and what's finalized, and then whether or not I think you should even be going for him, and then what areas can he possibly be utilized. So let's do this. All right, so we've got Vault Keeper WIXWELL here, and yeah, so he's fully defense focused. Go figure. Obviously, we knew this. They teased the new intercept buff. It kind of got people wanting to utilize that new buff that's going to be introduced to the game. And just know, of course, in the future, more than likely they're going to bring out other champions with intercept buff, and they're probably going to be overpowered. Either they're going to be mythicals or void legendaries, or potentially other fusion legendaries. But I think there's going to probably be a void legendary or a mythical champion in the near future that'll most likely come out with intercept buff, but on all allies. So let's go over his kit. We've got attacks an enemy 2 times. Each hit, 40% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn. If the target's a boss, the chance increases to 80%. And this can be booked out to a 100% chance, especially if he's facing bosses. So if you are struggling, you're early or mid game, you're struggling Doom Tower on the Magma boss or on other areas that require a provoke like Hydra, then this guy's going to come in and he's going to provoke for you, no problem, right? Because it's going to be a 100% chance if you book him out. 80% is still insanely strong. It's way stronger than a Husk, for example, right? So you pair him with a Husk, you pair him with other champions, or maybe one other champion potentially, if you need it, that can do a provoke, and use him in Hydra. This guy so far, with the defense focus, in my opinion, is going to be for players who want to push in Hydra. You're having struggles, you need a provoker, or you're having struggles in PvE in general, you need a provoker, and you need someone who can help support the team. This is going to be the guy for you. So far the A1, very strong. A2, defense focus still. Attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a decrease attack for 2 turns, also extremely powerful for Hydra and wave-based content. He's also going to be strong in your regular dungeons, hard mode dungeons, and he's going to be strong in Doom Tower as well, because he's placing that decreased attack on them. Increases the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn, which is big, and then increases the value of shield buffs on all allies. The value of the shield is increased proportional to the total number of buffs which had their duration increase. So this could end up being insane, but we don't know for sure. I feel like it's not going to be though, because, I mean, who knows? I could be wrong. It could be absolutely bonkers. Like the shield growth with Underpriest Brogni. But, of course, that Infinity comp is no longer there anymore, right? But it is what it is. But either way, I think this could be very strong paired with an Underpriest Brogni. You got him increasing the shields. Underpriest Brogni is increasing the shields. And then you're just being able to nuke as much as you can. You want to do as much damage and survive as long as you can too. So having a potential protection set could be very, very viable on this guy. Or, you know, you could use other things too if you wanted to go damage, but you're going to want to put probably defense and HP because he's a defense-based champion, right? He's a force affinity, which is also very strong. So not bad. It is a book to a 3-turn cooldown, which is nice. So yeah, the A2 is pretty strong. I do like that ability as well. On the A3, places 2 intercept stacks on a target ally. That's the new buff that you can place. Also places a 60% increased defense buff and a shield on all allies for 2 turns. This ability right here is very, very strong for hard mode Fire Knight. So if you wanted someone to go into hard mode Fire Knight, you want to use a specific blessing for him, which I will showcase right now for you. So let me go into the tavern. So the blessing you're going to want to use, I think, is emergency, not emergency heal. Yeah, definitely not this one. It's one of the faultless defense, I think. Whenever an enemy attacks an ally under an increased defense buff placed by this champion, reflects a portion of the damage back to the attacker. So that will remove stacks of the Fire Knight shield. So that way you can get the shield away and then hopefully keep his shield away for the rest of the fight. So he doesn't take another turn with your champions like your Newts, who can reduce or place the freeze and reduce the turn meter, right? So that's kind of what you want to go for. He's very similar in terms of placing a shield. Like, he doesn't have a counterattack, but the shield is fine and the increased defense is fine. You know, that's actually very, very helpful and beneficial for most players. And placing a decreased attack on the Fire Knight is strong too in case he does take a turn. So keep that in mind as well. But I think in general, he'll probably be a Hydra champion mainly. Hydra, some people will use him in Fire Knight. I don't foresee him being used as much in Arena, so this is not going to be your Arena meta guy. If his intercept stack was on all allies, then yes, he could be considered Arena meta. But based on this, I don't think he's going to be. Again, I could be wrong. You might see him in live arena here and there or regular arena here and there, but he's not going to be the top tier champion, I don't think, unless you build him around a team. And he's got to be really fast. He's got to be really fast because he has to be able to place the shields. He has to be able to place the increased defense. And again, I think protection will be really, really strong with him. If you can get a 9-piece protection set, it'll allow your team to do more damage, and or put him in a relentless set or a reflex set. It'll allow your team to, or him to, place the shields over and over, or take extra turns over and over to place the provokes, or to get back around to placing an intercept buff on your allies, so on and so forth. So that is pretty strong. The shield is proportional to his defense, and it's on a 3-turn cooldown. So yeah, that is very strong ability on a 3-turn. It's not bad at all. But again, I really wish that the intercept stacks were placed on more than one ally. I wish it was all allies, because Armand's is such a problem. So isolated lunacy. At the start of each round, places a counterattack buff on this champion for 1 turn, and the buff cannot be removed. Okay, that's pretty powerful. At the end of this champion's turn, places a counterattack buff on them for 1 turn. Okay, that's kind of insane. So he's always going to lock down the Magma Dragon, no problem. And he's always going to lock down, I think it's the Head of Decay that you need to place a provoke on. Head of Blight's not it. Head of Torment's not it. Definitely not that one. Yeah, I think it is the Head of Decay. Yeah, it's the Head of Decay that you want to place a provoke on. And so if he attacks, if the Head of Decay attacks him again, then he'll go and place another provoke. So it's like he'll just hold down the Head of Decay by himself. So that's really strong. Dang. Okay. Very, very, very powerful. He's going to, yeah, 100% he's going to be a Hydra god. And defense in all battles is strong too. So he might be a part of some people's Hydra teams for sure. And then I personally want to try him out in Hydra. And maybe I'll do a little bit of testing in Arena, but mainly I'm thinking I'm going to use him in my Hydra teams just to see how strong he is there. But let me know what your thoughts and comments are down below. Would you use him in Hydra? Would you use him elsewhere? Would you use him in Arena? Personally, I wouldn't use him in Arena, but that's just me. I think I would just end up using him in Hydra or other PvE areas of the game. Also super powerful for faction wars. I didn't really mention that, but he is very, very powerful for faction wars. But yeah, I mean, do you want to waste your resources to go for him? Again, at the end of the day, it's going to depend on your level of account that you have. And if you want to skip a fusion because you're burnt out, totally understand that. But this guy is very strong. He has a great kit. And I think he's going to be a benefit to anybody's account out there that is early, mid, late game. End game, if you have crazy amounts of champions, he might not be the best for you because you can already beat all the content in the game. But in general, he might be just a new person you just want to mess around with on your account. So anyways, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Those are my thoughts and comments about Vault Keeper Wixwell. Please consider subscribing to the channel on your way out, and I will see you on a video soon. Take care.